All right, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon from Comixkings, and today joining me on episode 5 of Hall of Fame, Hall of Shame. You guys know Ryan here for every episode. What's up, Ryan?
How you doing?
And then we got Michael Flashpointcomics, the one and only, down here driving a Tesla. Had to join in for it. How you doing, Michael? Thank you for being here.
Good. I'm super excited to be on the show. It's always cool talking with you guys.
There we go. And today we are super excited for Justice League, the Snyder Cut, to be coming out on Thursday after years of people screaming about it and moaning about it. We're getting it. So why not kick in the Justice League with a little bit of Justice League keys? We are doing Justice League number 64, first appearance of the Red Tornado, for Silver Age appearance of the Red Tornado, versus Justice League number 50, which is part 10 of the Darkseid War. And I'm super excited to be going over these. Let's jump into Justice League number 50. Ryan, I'm sure you want to break that down for us. Give us a down on that.
Yeah, so, we're right in the middle of the new 52's big Justice League event, Darkseid War, which, just for some background, is basically a war orchestrated by a half Amazon, half Darkseid named Grail, who orchestrated this war between the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid, which, is it kind of exemplifies what the new 52 was. Just kind of like no sense, just balls to the wall craziness. But we start off in the midst of Darkseid War. Basically the concept of Darkseid War is all of the Justice League become gods. Superman is the god of strength. Shazam is the god of gods. Flash is the god of death. Batman, sitting on the Mobius chair, is the god of is the god of knowledge, and Lex Luthor is the god of apocalypse. So basically, we get thrown into essentially this is the last issue of Darkseid War, and Grail has killed Darkseid and then killed the Anti-Monitor. I don't know how that works because they're new gods. It doesn't really make sense, but hey, whatever. It's new 52.
It doesn't have to.
Yeah, exactly. It's new 52. Who cares?
Jeff Johns.
Yeah, exactly. The man practically writes
these. Jeff Johns, other than two Jeff Johns.
Exactly. He writes the DC history books.
It's the Flash. This is when he became the Black Racer, right? Or
yes.
Okay.
They merge, and essentially what happens is, Grail has killed Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor and has unleashed this weapon. The prophecy says the first male to ever step foot on Themyscira. They believe it's to be Steve Trevor. So, Steve Trevor is imbued with the anti-life and is taking on the entire Justice League. And basically, this book is a giant fight, essentially. And it's narrated by Wonder Woman, who is, anytime they need a protagonist for a Justice League story, it's pretty much Wonder Woman because they can't make her solo book work.
Yeah, like your most famous woman character in all of comics can never hold up her own series.
Exactly. So
she can never hold up her own series.
No, you're right, and that's why they just make her basically the narrator of the Justice League book. We saw in Death Metal. Yeah.
This story is also where Steve Trevor gets cucked by Superman, because now Wonder Woman is with Superman. Isn't this when, shortly after? I'm pretty sure Injustice is shortly after this, and Wonder Woman has a thing for Superman. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. He had a thing for the new 52.
Yeah, DC was really pushing this Superman Wonder Woman romance. I think at the start of the new 52, and then they kind of leaned back, and then they always love that freaking couple.
I feel like it's every few years we're gonna try to force as much Wonder Woman on you as we can. New 52, it was okay. Let's force Superman Wonder Woman because she can never do well in her own book, so we're gonna do that. Now we're gonna ignore her for a few years. Oh, but now we're gonna have 3 Wonder Woman. One of them's gonna be in the Cosmos right now, and we got a new one. But if you didn't like Wonder Woman, we're still gonna make you.
Yeah, exactly. So essentially,
can't escape. Here you go.
Essentially, what happens is this is right after Forever Evil, which, if you don't know, was when the crime syndicate came over and basically, kind of fucked up everything on Earth. The remnants of Forever Evil is still going on. So we have Superwoman, who is Lois Lane of Earth I think it's Earth 3 in the New 52. It was Earth 2 pre-New 52, but I think they're from Earth 3. And she is a child with Alexander Luthor of Earth 3, and it's basically kind of like Shazam, but she holds up the baby and she says Mazas, which is Shazam backwards, and the baby can absorb the powers of the nearby heroes, and in that case, it's their godhood. So the baby absorbs all of their, godlike powers, and then Grail ends up, killing Superwoman and taking the baby, and transforming the baby into Darkseid, like reincarnated, which I was like, this is a bit too much for me at this point.
Or Baby Thanos. I'm going to Baby Thanos.
So she transforms it back into Darkseid, and then they have this huge fight or whatever. And then, basically, Wonder Woman puts the lasso of truth around Grail, and it's like, you can still be saved or whatever. You could still be saved. And I forgot to mention probably why this book is such a huge key is Jessica Cruz, who her backstory is super convoluted, but basically, to put it simply, she's very fearful. So when the crime syndicate came over and Volthoom, who was Power Ring, died, she got the ring because she is incredibly what's up? But basically,
Mikey Sighting and TikTok Boy. I don't know who you're talking about. TikTok Boy. I believe he plays on the Steelers. Not for very long. And Rise Songs, we call him Sunshine. from Remember the Titans. Sunshine.
Dude, I'll be the quarterback. That's fine.
And we got Peter. What's up, brother? And if you guys are in the live chat, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hall of Fame, Hall of Shame. If you are catching the replay, shout out to you as well. Thank you so much for checking it out. It means a lot. I always forget to tell you guys to sub to the channel, like the video, so do that. I don't ask it because if you want to, you would do it without me requesting it. So I just feel like all YouTubers say it, so I got to do it.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Like Jessica as the Green Lantern, the Power Ring is so convoluted and stupid. Like Darkseid War was so good until it's just like death metal. This is pre-death metal. Like this is the same exact crap that DC does. It's ridiculous. Like Jessica Cruz should not be a Green Lantern. I don't know.
We need more diversity in the Green Lantern Corps.
No, it's so convoluted because she's incredibly. I actually kind of like the concept. It's just way too convoluted. She basically gets the ring because she's such a timid and fearful person, and then she gets trapped inside of herself with Cyborg, and Grid because of Grid or whatever, and then. She sacrifices herself to save Barry Allen.
Yeah, she died at some point in this issue.
Yeah, she dies, basically saving Barry Allen from the Black Racer. Maybe I wish he died so Wally would be the Flash, but whatever.
Here's the thing, right? You have all these Justice League characters, and the one that they decided to focus on the most, having the heroicness, Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, so basically that action of sacrificing herself makes her a Green Lantern, and she's resurrected. Because the Black Racer actually killed Volthoom, who the ring, and not her, which is so stupid. But
not a Pia element, Volthoom.
Yeah, Jesus. But anyway, just to close out this issue, because it is. I really like Darkseid War, but this is honestly just a bunch of convoluted garbage at this point. Batman learns through the Mobius chair that Steve Trevor was not the first man to step foot on Themyscira. And Grail releases Steve Trevor and basically is like, I'm never gonna be good or whatever. So essentially, she she uses her Omega beams. Her eye lasers are never really explained too well.
She shoots Darkseid.
Yeah, and she shoots through her mother and kills Darkseid. Everything's done, and essentially the end of this issue is basically just Rebirth set up. Owlman takes control of the Mobius chair and meets up with Metron on the moon. They are both obliterated into blue dust, like Rorschach was in Watchmen. So that was the setup for Dr. Manhattan in the DC universe.
Oh, yeah, it's like Jeff Johnson. He's like, but I have a plan for Lane that we're not going to figure out until I decide to sit down and write it, because I'm so busy with everything else that supposedly matters turn out to be Titans, which is garbage. But
yeah, exactly.
But John's like, but the last 10 pages are my plan.
Exactly. It's just setting up Rebirth at this point. We have Jessica Cruz. Yeah, we have Jessica Cruz becoming a Green Lantern. Dr. Manhattan coming in. We have Batman basically revealing that there's 3 Jokers, which I don't want to talk about 3 Jokers right now. Brandon and I have. Brandon, I don't want.
Michael, what'd you think of 3 Jokers?
It was ass.
Thank you.
Ass.
Ass.
I don't want to talk about this, but anyway, it sets up 3 Jokers, which comes out 5 years later, and we learn, which is treated as the biggest reveal, that when Wonder Woman was being born, she actually has a twin brother named Jason. And he was the first man to step foot on Themyscira, and it's less ambiguous whether he's dead and the Amazons killed him as a child and buried him, which I was like, Jesus, Jeff Johns, or he's still out there. It's DC, so they want a Wonder Woman miniseries, so he's going to be out there, obviously.
They just want you to question everything. And
yeah,
I feel like the issue was like, I feel like this issue really makes you think of Jeff Johns in a Brett Favre kind of way, like. He left and then he tried to come back, and then he's just never the same. And I feel like at the end of this, he's like, yeah, I'm leaving. Oh, but I'm coming back for more. But it's not matter. Like, dude, not good. His setup was supposed to drive Rebirth. 3 Jokers. Jessica Cruz was supposed to drive Rebirth as well. She really didn't. She was supposed to help drive Rebirth, not. And then Doomsday Clock, but didn't come out until Doomsday Clock finished. I started collecting comics when Doomsday Clock started. So I remember when it first got launched and I didn't read it.
Yeah.
And then it ended last year, and we got the hardcover about a month later. And we got the deluxe hardcover, and then we got the paperback, all within a span of 3 weeks.
Dude, that's the thing about DC. DC is so gung-ho. They're like, yes, we have this superstar writer with a vision for our universe. It's happened like 4 times throughout their history. And then this writer has a vision for the universe. And then they let the first half of the vision play out, and then boom, they don't care anymore, and they just move back into whatever. We saw it with Morrison. DC was all in on Grant Morrison. Right, like Final Crisis, his Batman stuff, his Batman and Robin, Return of Bruce Wayne. Basically, Grant Morrison was orchestrating the DC universe. Boom, New 52 relaunch. We have Jeff Johns' initiative. Boom, we're moving past Rebirth into whatever this new era is, pre-Infinite Frontier. Right. Then, boom, we have Scott Snyder's vision. This is, metal, death metal. This is Scott Snyder. We have Scott Snyder at the helm. He is the new vision of DC. And then I guarantee you, in 2 to 3 months, we're going to have a horrible Tom King event or some random crap like that that's going to completely alter the vision for the universe, and it's just going to happen over and over.
I think they're keeping Tom King as far away as like normal DC continuity as they can right now.
They should just, honestly, Tom King, just give him the Frank Miller effect. Just stick him on a Black Label book or a miniseries that's like in continuity or out of continuity. Who really cares? Just stick him on a miniseries like outside of continuity, and Strange Adventures and Mr. Miracle are great, but like when he tries to do something like Heroes in Crisis, it fails on every fundamental level of a book.
Yeah. All right. But anyway, we got another book to talk about because, of course, this show has 2 issues going head to head, and we're going to be talking about Justice League number 60. This is by Gardner Fox with art by Dick Dillon and Sid Green. Okay, this is the first appearance of the Silver Age Tornado, as we said earlier, and this is all taking place on Earth 2 because this is setting up a crossover between the JSA and the Justice League. Okay, now I'm not a big JSA fan, but this is like kind of like one of my first introductions to them as like a reader. So we got your team. They're gathered around. You got Black Canary. You got Jay Garrick. You got Starman, and you got Our Man. Characters I'm not familiar with other than Dr. Fate and Canary and Jay Garrick. But and then Red Tornado comes up, and they're like, "Oh, this is Red Tornado. We know who that is. He's the guy that was one of the original members of the team, but it was a girl at the time." So they reveal him. They take off his helmet, and it's him. But we kind of get like the origin story of JSA, and this is Silver Age. So every story is going to start with kind of an introduction to these characters, which I like because like, you can hop on at any time. At the time is like you never knew who was going to be buying comics that day. You kind of have an idea now because we have a thing called subs, but a fan base. But back then, there really wasn't a way to track it. So what's going on is Our Man is trying to come up with this new tech for crime fighting. And he's like, I'm going to build a computer that allows us to detect crimes in advance. Because this is Earth 2, guys. This is where they're a little bit more advanced. I don't even think they had computers in 1968. But, Michael, you know about that, right? But no, Michael's chilling over there.
Yeah, so, he's just chilling.
They're like, oh, there's something at the bank. And we got a few people. We got Chamara, what's up, buddy? Thank you so much for the kind words. You want to check the replay. Thank you so much for leaving a comment, coming in for just a second. And we got Jen, Comics Will Break Your Heart. Howdy, howdy, howdy. What's up? Hope you're having a good night.
Dude, I would just like to say that there's a reason why Red Tornado is not in a lot of books anymore. Red Tornado was an ass character as well.
He was interesting in this book, though. He's kind of a klutz in this book, but he was interesting nonetheless. And it didn't really do what most origin stories do, and it like retells it and then tries to do something new that doesn't work. This was like very true to his character. If you guys do want to read a Red Tornado story that's modern and current, read Brad Meltzer's Justice League. It's great. It's
or
good.
Just watch. I think the best interpretation of Red Tornado is in the Young Justice show.
Yeah, that too, where he's basically
he's like the Justice League's liaison to the team.
Babysitter for the Young Justice team. But in this issue, there you get notified that there's like a bank robbery, so they all go there. And Red Tornado they don't believe that Red Tornado is actually who he says he is, even though Red Tornado's not human. So he's just being a klutz at this point. So he's trying to do good, but he's like getting in the way of everyone. So he's like knocking out Dinah Drake, not Dinah Lance right now. Knocking out Dinah Drake. He's knocking down Starman. He's knocking down Our Man. So, and he's like, yeah, I don't think I'm doing a good job. I don't think this is for me. But anyway, they get back, and it's this guy. His name is, what is his name? His name is Tomorrow. He's basically malfunctioning Red Tornado to do all this stuff so that they can go attack the Justice League in the next issue. So this book is a lot of setup, and he's using Red Tornado to get to the Justice League coming back. So it's very interesting. Gardner Fox is a great writer. I think he was definitely ahead of his time. In a lot of his writings, he definitely knows the characters, and he's able to blend. He writes like a typical Silver Age writer, which is, I'm going to use my cosmic rays, but it doesn't feel that way at the end of it. You know, it's very readable.
You have to think, though, he was a great writer, but a lot of this stuff he's taken from other books, because you have to think at this time, the Hal Jordan and Alan Scott crossover happened. The Barry Allen and Jay Garrick crossover happened, and what else before this? What else was there? I think there was a couple other, like, at this time, like, all these crossovers had already been done, though, so this wasn't something new. It was just more of bringing in more of the universe together instead of just a character.
Right. But he does a good job at it, and it didn't really feel like a ripoff in the way that he was writing it, you know? So
his stuff really kind of, not to the extent of like other Silver Age books, but it holds up reasonably well. Like, it's not unreadable.
It's definitely readable, and I think for its time, it does a good job. It's bringing. When I picked this book, I didn't know what to expect. I've never read it before. As a matter of fact, I actually just picked it up the other day accidentally. So I was like, hey, it's Red Tornado. He's a very underrated character. unless you ask Michael, who thinks he's a very trash character. So when we're looking at these two stories, Hall of Fame, Hall of Shame, we're not talking about the significance of the key itself. We're talking about the content of the story, the legacy it holds, and what's like kind of to follow. We're looking at this issue and the significance of it as a book in the universe, in its respective universe. So we got Justice League number 50, which is Jessica's induction into the Mansion Corps. We got Batman learns about the three Jokers, and we got a bunch of Jeff Johns set up. And that's also big key because we got Snyder Cut going forward, and that's kind of what it's about. And then we have this issue, Justice League 64, which is the first Silver Age appearance of one of their key members. So when we're looking at it, where do you guys put these books? In Hall of Fame or Hall of Shame?
So, honestly, the Dark Side War was... I would like to think that for me personally, Dark Side War was okay. Like, I'm not going to say it was a terrible story. I think it was a really convoluted way to add a bunch of characters because realistically speaking, like, let's talk about the Black Racer. You know, obviously I'm a Flash fan, anything Flash. So I have his first appearance at a 9.8. The Black Racer, like, why did we need the Black Racer? There was the Black Flash, you know, from Wally's run in the late 80s, early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we need another character like that? I understand it was the New Gods version. So for me, both of these books are Hall of Shame, you know. Red Tornado will never be a significant character because he has nothing really to offer to the Justice League or anything else that I feel like that will never grow. But in terms of stories, I mean, anything Silver Age, you know, for you guys are young. I mean, I'm not much older than you. I'm about 8-9 years older than you. So maybe it's my opinion, that generational difference. I don't think if you say that Silver Age books are unreadable, it's because you guys aren't understanding the time in which the books were being written.
Right. You got to open yourself to it.
Yeah, if you look you can't compare Silver Age superheroes, or even it's just like you can't compare Golden Age superheroes to Silver Age superheroes because it's two completely different writing styles. And just like, even though we're keeping more of the Silver Age heroes and now writing the modern, you can't compare the writing because it's still two different, like, you know, completely different kind of styles of writing. Darkseid was really, like, God, Darkseid was awful in this. I'm sorry, I couldn't handle, like, Darkseid War. I was super pumped for, and then the way they ended it with Superwoman and like the baby and everything else was just so convoluted for me that that's definitely a Hall of Shame. The Red Tornado, if I'm talking about a book that's a key that's going to be, you know, for the time, I'd put that the Hall of Fame, honestly. That's where I stand.
I would have Ryan, what are you, man, before I get into my thoughts about it?
I'm a bigger you know, when I was a kid watching like the Justice League cartoon, because, you know, I was a kid when the Justice League cartoon and Justice League Unlimited was coming out, and I loved Red Tornado in that. You know, I watched Young Justice, liked him in that. And, you know, I always had a soft spot for Red Tornado. But my problem with Red Tornado is every story, like, it's, if I think of a character while I'm explaining this that's similar, maybe you guys can jump in. All of his conflict and personal things are the same. It's this, his problem is he's an android, and every single problem he faces stems from that. And it's also kind of this man versus machine sort of thing that we've seen. Now, I think Cyborg does that better because he literally is half man, half machine. So he, you know, he has the man versus machine dilemma much better than Red Tornado, who's very much an android. And it's just someone, honestly, Red Tornado's like Martian Manhunter. And I like Martian Manhunter significantly more than Red Tornado, but they'll never have a solo book unless it's a Tom King series where he makes them super depressed.
Well,
like,
Martian had that Steve Orlando book.
Yes, and then and didn't get canceled because it didn't sell.
It was 12.
12.
Series.
But I think it barely sold because they can barely sell books on their own. And you need to reinvent the character in some ways, in the sense of, we've seen Martian Manhunter have the dilemma, I'm an alien on Earth, and that problem. You know, this isn't my home. We've seen that problem. We've seen, the Red Tornado, Cyborg. Am I a man or am I a machine? Am I going to give over to my machine side or my man side? We've seen that 1,000 times. And now all this set up just to say, hey, I think, honestly, in a weird, sick way, Justice League number 50 from the New 52 is the perfect encapsulation in one issue of what the New 52 was. I think it's actually a reasonably all right end to one of the best runs from the New 52. Here's my thing. Let me just say this real quick.
Anything to compete against.
Here's my. Well, I mean, Batman and Robin was good. Morrison's Action Comics, so underrated. Justice League was all right. Gail Simone's Batgirl was pretty good. Some of that Red Hood stuff is all right. But anyway, the early Flash stuff is pretty good, and the Reverse Flash arc is really good. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point is I think if you were like every week or every month, I'm going to the store and I'm picking up Jeff Johns' Justice League, and you read all the Forever Evil event and whatever, I think this serves as a reasonably good conclusion. Now, going back and reading it, like, we're all in hindsight. Like, this isn't coming out right now. You might read Justice League Volume 1 Origin, and then you might skip to Darkseid War, or you might read Throne of Atlantis and stuff. Reading it out of order, it is a complete mess. It is convoluted. It is way over the top for no reason. Darkseid is not recognizable at all. It's for lack of a better word, it's a shit show. And it's a Michael Bay movie with no real substance behind it. But I think it serves, if you were reading the New 52 all the way through, as a fairly decent conclusion that wraps up most story arcs. It wraps up the Forever Evil stuff with the Crime Syndicate. It wraps up the stuff with Grail. It actually has pretty decent setup. Now, again, we can debate for hours how that setup turned out with 3 Jokers and Doomsday Clock and everything like that. We can debate that for hours. Brandon and I already have. But the point...
We've been doing it for a while.
But the point is, and I'm sorry I'm rambling on, but this is just kind of my final thoughts because, we're wrapping up a bit. But at the end of the day, I think Gardner Fox, I love Gardner Fox. And I like the JSA a lot more than a lot of other people. But at the end of the day, I think issue 50 serves as a very satisfying conclusion. On its own, it does not work.
So it's like the Hall of Fame against Justice League 64.
So yeah, you're trying to get me to cut to the chase, but I'd like to compare it really quick. Not that, again, I don't want to ramble on and on.
And we're going to be at 35.
This whole thing's about analysis, man. You want to analyze comics without going into it. It's like Batman RIP for me. And I don't know if you guys will agree. Whereas Batman RIP on its own doesn't really work. But if you read it in the context of the whole run, it works really well.
See, I disagree with that because I'm just saying, I think Forever Evil would have been a perfect way to end the New 52. I understand why they did it, and it would have been awfully short. But like the Crime Syndicate, honestly, that would have been a great comparison. Is the Crime Syndicate like the Forever Evil story arc in New 52, and the introduction of the Crime Syndicate in the Silver Age. But like we can get to the point. We all know you're putting Justice League 50 at Hall of Fame, and Red Tornado is Hall of Fame. It's all right, man. Like I said, a lot of you younger kids don't understand, you guys don't understand the Silver Age or Golden Age, and and it's simple by you saying like it's readable. It's because people, you guys have been trained and read these superheroes in a different way. I was raised I was reading Golden Age and Silver Age since I was as soon as I could read. That's what my grandpa wanted me to read. I was reading Golden Age JSA with him in his books. I was reading Golden or Silver Age like JSA and Flash, and I was reading up to modern. If you've read all of those books from, the context is different. So comparing, and this is kind of a hard one to do, is comparing a Silver Age book to a modern book is completely different because the Silver Age book,
It's different use of language. It's different use of art, use of space.
No, it's a completely different time.
So,
you can't compare them.
No, and so it's hard. Like, I understand why, because honestly, Dark Side War was it was good and bad, and I understand why a lot of people would choose Dark Side War over, Golden or Silver Age JSA, because, a lot of these, yeah. Well, a lot of these things, though, is a lot of these Silver Age books were writing to set up the modern age, though. Like, all of these villains from, like Sinestro, all, Reverse Flash, Dr. Alchemy, all, Black Manta, all of these Silver Age characters that were introduced then, we look at them now and people love Aquaman now. Now he's not a meme anymore because of Jason Momoa, which is stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, Jeff Johns made him not a meme.
Yeah.
So, that's what a lot of people don't understand is it's easy. You can, like, hell, trust me, the majority of the Flash's writing in the Silver Age is complete and utter trash. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, if I was reading this and if I was your age reading it, or, I'd be like, holy crap, what is this? Like, I get it. But, I've been, I was with my comic book, I've been collecting since I was 5. So I have that experience of reading all these older books and realizing for me that, I can't compare Silver Age Barry Allen to, let's say, post Flashpoint Barry Allen because, he's so boring, he's so depressed. You got to think, dude, Barry Allen, he went through, he has to hold on to what he caused from Flashpoint, all of the damage he did. And both him and Wally are empaths as they are anyways. So all of the death that he witnessed and everything else in Flashpoint, he still holds on to that.
Right.
So of course, like, the writing there compared to Silver Age Barry, like, you can't compare that.
Right. And to wrap up my thoughts on this and to sort them, I'm going ahead and I'm putting Justice League 64 in the Hall of Fame. I'm putting Justice League number 50 in the Hall of Shame. Just most because I actually really enjoyed, you're speaking of people our age not enjoying the Silver Age. I actually really enjoyed that Silver Age. I actually really enjoyed Gardner Fox as a writer. I enjoyed Jeff Johns as well. I just think when you're looking at what the issue actually does, I think Justice League 64 made a lot more sense, to me. And as a character and what it was setting up, to me, was more linear than what Jeff Johns was setting up in that. So that
also, it's a product of the time, man.
And Brandon, my guy, I'm in the joint. I'll catch you momentarily, but I don't want to hear no Barry Allen slander. You got a little bit. You didn't get but
no, it's different, man. You talk about a linear story. Everyone now is writing for the trade. It's just how it works. It's not
written for trade because it doesn't really read as well in trade as it did single issues. Because I understand why that book would get so much hype issue by issue. Right?
No, I'm not.
Is, to me, even though it's the first appearance of Red Tornado, he's a decent character. He's not absolutely amazing. He's a decent character, but I'm putting that in the Hall of Fame. I think Justice League 50 was the downfall of Jeff Johns' career as a writer in comics.
Oh my! I wouldn't. Hold on a sec. Wait.
I think that because what did he do since then? That was good.
Doomsday. Okay, as much as you can hate on Doomsday Clock, it is still one of the best comics DC has published in the recent years. Same with Three Jokers.
Publish good comics.
It's just because you want to talk about the 6XX of books that are all shit right now, and you want to say DC publishes bad books, dude. Everything I see at Marvel is a horrible King in Black tie into that mediocre book. Like, honestly, I'm gonna explode.
I was gonna say, like, saying Doomsday Clock is bad. Like, hold on here, Brandon. I love you, Brandon, but hold on here.
I didn't enjoy it. I paid a lot of money for that slipcase. That I did.
I'm gonna vomit. Like, I'm actually gonna vomit.
I can't believe you think Doomsday Clock is bad. Like, dude, I'm the harshest critic of books that Brandon. And, like, a lot of these books are ass, like complete ass. And you're gonna sit here and tell me Doomsday Clock was bad? Holy!
I'm gonna sit here and tell you Doomsday Clock was ass.
Brandon, I guarantee you list your 5 favorite writers on a current book right now. Jeff Johns is better than every single one of them, even currently.
Keyword was.
You shut your mouth.
Jeff Johns is better than they are currently.
What? Now, let me tell you why. Justice League 50. Okay, everything he did before that book was good. Okay. he had a lot of seminal runs in the DC universe. Post that, we're not nearly anywhere close.
Because DC just brings him in to plug gaps. Do you realize that? Jeff Johns isn't going to be on an ongoing. Like, you saw
anchor.
Oh my gosh, DC put their best writers on the Infinite Frontier book. This is the future of the DC universe. And Jeff Johns' Stargirl little thing was still the best book in that entire thing. He still has it. It's just DC misuses him, obviously. They use him to plug gaps. They're like, oh, we fuck.
Using Jeff Johns their film now, which is why he's not as good as the writers, because he doesn't have enough time.
Yes, because Jeff Johns is not a bad writer. Like, I'm so sick of this.
Hey, what's up, Rod? I never said he was a bad writer.
No, but you said just the fact of the matter is like DC sees a continuity kind of thing they want to change, right? Like, Johns, just write a mini series or write an event about this. All right, it's not that Jeff Johns hasn't got the opportunity to sit down and tell like an ongoing run of a story he wants to tell. You see, there's a big difference between a writer
or Justice League number 50.
Okay, but I'm saying to call Justice League number 50 the downfall of Jeff Johns' career.
I mean, I would say that it was definitely the start of the downhill slope of his career. Like, not the downfall. He definitely has written a lot worse, but I'm not going to say it was the downfall. It was
going towards the movie industry on DC Universe, on the CW. He's doing all those shows.
Put Jeff Johns on an ongoing book. I love, like, Chip Zdarsky and Tom Taylor are probably my two favorite current writers in comics. You put Jeff Johns on an ongoing book right now on a character he wants to write about, it's better than any book. Probably besides Daredevil being published right now.
Oh, right then. Anyway, this conversation could continue for hours and hours and hours. We're probably gonna even have this off camera a little bit more unfiltered. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into Hall of Fame, Hall of Shame. We did get our winners. There were 2 votes for Justice League 64 in the Hall of Fame, 1 vote for Justice League 50 in the Hall of Fame. So sorry, Ryan. Maybe next time. But next week we're doing Captain America keys for Captain America and or not Captain America, for Falcon. And Soldier. I misspoke. Yes, what a statement, and I made it. I will stand behind what I said. But
I think he's talking about me with the Jeff Johns on the ongoing series.
Yeah, we both made bold statements. All 3 of us did. But next week we're doing Captain America keys for Falcon Winter Soldier. We're looking forward to that. Snyder Cut, I'm looking forward to. I'm more excited for people to shut up about it. But
I was one of the lucky people who saw the first hour of it. It's actually not that bad.
Wait, okay.
There's nothing like mindless action with gross mixed characterization of 2 of the most iconic superheroes of all time. But yeah, whatever.
And without further ado, make sure you guys, I put Michael's description for his Instagram his Instagram in the description. So make sure y'all go give him a follow. I put Ryan's YouTube as always. It's in the description. Also, if you go to my channel, he's paired. So go check him out. Him and his buddy Chad do great content. So
thank you.
With that, thank you guys so much for joining me, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Oh, Flash got his dog.
Hey.
Crypto, we're gonna call him.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, see you guys.